First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm bringing you this live shot here of the courtroom where we are waiting to hear the verdict in the case of Jake Gleason, who is suing a doctor from the Timbers. We've been covering this for quite a while. We understand that the verdict is imminent. This is a $25 million lawsuit.
She's not on because she's going to do it by the FTR, but if she was planning on doing it, it'll be easier this way.
Can you guys hear me?
There she is. All right, Kelly, we're not on the record right now. Can you hear us?
I can't hear anything. I'm going to have to go in and out.
We heard you.
We can hear you if you can hear us. Let's try that again. And Tiffany, if you're listening in, would you mind sending me a message to let me know if you can hear us from the courtroom?
All right, this is Greg Nibbler with Fox 12, just chiming in here to let you know what's going on. So we're awaiting the verdict in this case of Jake Gleason, the former Timbers goalie, who brought a $25 million lawsuit against Dr. Richard Edelson. And we are, this is what's happening right now. So obviously they're still setting some stuff up in the courtroom. So this is live, and we're going to follow along with you as we see what is going on here, just to bring you up to date a little bit in case you don't know about this case. The $25 million lawsuit has to do with a surgery that took place on Jake Gleason, where a plate was placed into his leg. The medical malpractice suit that he is alleging is that it was improperly sterilized. And that is kind of the epicenter of the lawsuit. It led to about 14 different surgeries that Jake Gleason had, along with what he says is years of suffering and pretty much the end of his professional career. So that is the lawsuit that was brought.
Courtroom and on the record in case number 20 CV 23083, Jacob Gleason versus Richard Edelson. I have word that the jury has reached a verdict and the attorneys and the parties are in the courtroom. Counsel, would you please identify yourselves for the record?
Jason Kafori for the plaintiff, 091200, Your Honor.
Greg Kafori for the plaintiff, 741663, Your Honor.
John Polino on behalf of Dr. Edelson, 925202.
Kim Wait for Dr. Edelson, 914080.
Nicola Jones on behalf of Dr. Edelson, 941013.
All right. Anything for the record before you bring the jury in?
How do you want to handle juror feedback? In our past trials, we've had clients step out and optional jury feedback.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go talk to the jury afterwards, and I'm going to tell them on the record that I'm not going to ask them any questions about their deliberations, but I want to answer any questions they may have. I'll give them the option if they want to come talk to you to do that as well, and I will send them a survey afterwards. They give feedback that way. So, but
and when you say come talk to us, are you talking about in the courtroom we talk to them, or are you talking about in the hallway?
I will talk to them first, and then if they want to talk, they could come and talk to them in the courtroom.
Okay.
If we would prefer to be able to talk to jurors, we request that the defense agree that nothing said as a result of Your Honor's liberality in allowing such discussions be admissible in any post-verdict role. John?
I don't agree with that.
All right.
I mean, I think that the ability to impeach a jury verdict is very limited, and what matters is what the verdict is. So, all right. So as I mentioned on Wednesday after we closed, I know that this is a really emotional time for Mr. Gleason and for Dr. Edelson. I can't imagine what you all are going through right now, because even just like in the last 30-some minutes since I heard that the jury had a verdict, I couldn't really concentrate on anything else. So I wasn't, other than just getting ready for this. So I can't imagine what you all are going through. You will have a verdict within a few minutes now, and it's going to be a really emotional time regardless of what the verdict is. And I would just ask that you and the other supporters and the other people in the courtroom, just out of respect for the jury, do your best to just be as calm and dispassionate not make any noises, not have any audio or visual effects, no facial reactions, etc. Once the jury's gone, you can let the emotions out, but I just ask to respect the jury that everyone, including the lawyers, keep everything close to the vest for right now, okay?
Understood, Your Honor.
So let's bring the jury back.
Don't look at them.
All right, the jury. All right, welcome back. We have all 12 jurors present. Juror number 6, I see you have a piece of paper in your hand. Does that mean you're the foreperson? Has the jury reached a verdict? Or actually, have you reached a verdict, either yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
And would you hand the verdict form to Mr. Walters? All right, in case number 20 CV 23083, Jacob Gleason versus Richard Edelson, MD. We, the jury, find, question 1, was Dr. Edelson negligent in one or more of the ways alleged by plaintiff in using IUSS as reflected in paragraphs A through C in the summary of the claims and defenses? Answer, yes. Number of jurors voting yes, 12. Question 2, was defendant Dr. Edelson's negligence in using IUSS a cause of damage to plaintiff? Answer, yes. Number of jurors voting yes, 11. Number of jurors voting no, 1. Question 3, was Dr. Edelson negligent in one or more of the ways alleged by plaintiff in failing to disclose the use of IUSS to Mr. Gleason as reflected in paragraphs D through F in the summary of the claims and defenses? Answer, yes. Number of jurors voting yes, 12. Number of jurors voting no, 0. Question 4, was defendant Dr. Edelson's negligence in failing to disclose the use of IUSS a cause of damage to plaintiff? Answer, yes. Number of jurors voting yes, 11. Number of jurors voting no, 1. Question 5, what are plaintiff's damages? Economic damages, past medical expenses, $413,533. Let me start over on that. Economic damages, past medical expenses, $413,533.18. Number of jurors voting for this amount, 12. Future medical expenses, $387,500. Number of jurors voting for this amount, 11. Past lost wages. Number of jurors voting for this amount, $2 million. Number of jurors voting for this amount, 12. Future impaired earning capacity, $2,145,000. Number of jurors voting for this amount, 9. Non-economic damages, $15,675,000. Number of jurors voting for this amount, 12. Dated March 28, 2025, by presiding juror number 6. Now, as I mentioned, I need to confirm that this is a lawful verdict, and so based on this form, there are at least 9 people voted for each of the questions, but I need to just double check this. So if your vote for question number 1 was yes about being negligent in using IUSS, please raise your hand. I see 12 hands. If your answer to question 2 was yes about whether the negligence in using ISS was a cause of damage, please raise your hand. Okay. I see 11 hands. Question 3 was, if your answer was yes to the question of whether or not Dr. Edelson was negligent in failing to disclose the use of IUSS, please raise your hand. I see 12 hands. For question 4, if your answer was yes about whether Dr. Edelson's negligence in failing to disclose the use of IUSS was a cause of damage, please raise your hand. All right, I see 11 hands. So for the damages, for economic damages for past medical expenses, if you voted for $413,533.18, please raise your hand. I see 12 hands. For future medical expenses, if your vote was $387,500, please raise your hand. If your vote for past lost wages was $2 million, please raise your hand. I see 12 hands. And just for the record, if I didn't say it, there were 11 hands for the future medical expenses. And for future impaired earning capacity of $2,145,000, if your vote was for that, please raise your hand. And if your vote for non-economic damages was $15,675,000, please raise your hand. I see 12 hands for that. And there were 9 hands for the future impaired earning capacity. So because the votes for the 2 questions where there was a no answer about causation, those were the same votes plus 1 other person for the that went for no for the future impaired earning capacity, or at least didn't vote for that amount. That means that there was the same 9 people for all other answers. That's by my count. Counsel, do you have any objection to the legal sufficiency of the verdict?
No.
Yes, Your Honor, in a way that we can deal with, I think.
All right. All right. I will address any objections after the jury leaves, but having received no other objections, I find that this is a lawful verdict, and the verdict is received, and you are now discharged from your service. I want to thank you very much for your service. You did an incredible job of being here on time every day. You were very attentive. And as I told you, all the jurors I've had in the past are awesome, and you were a great example of that. So I want to thank you for your service. You're not quite done, because I want to send you back. I'm going to talk to you in the jury room. I'm not going to ask you any questions about your deliberations. That's for you and you alone, but I want to answer any questions you might have. So I'll have you go back to the jury room. I'll be back there in a few minutes, okay? All right, thank you, everybody. All right, the jury's left the courtroom. Mr. Polino.
Yes, Your Honor, obviously, we would have an objection at least to the future future medical expense amount, which is, it exceeds the amount that was actually in the prayer, and should have indicated in the instructions that it was capped at $200,000.
All right. Mr. Kapori?
Yeah, the court has discretion to accept it. There was evidence of several $100,000 by Dr. Liu, and I think in the court's discretion, you should consider accepting the amount. There's law on that. I believe it's within the court's discretion.
Maybe we should not just make an on-the-spot ruling. We could.
Yeah, we're happy.
So I would, the instructions did say that the most they could award would be 200,000 for that, correct?
That is correct.
So I will leave it at this. I will say I'm inclined to reduce it to the 200,000 as instructed. I'm not going to make a final ruling on that right now. If you'd like to brief the matter and if you'd like to provide record evidence, you can do that. But just know that
We've been here in your courtroom where we know your tentative rulings.
Okay.
So.
And if you have good facts and law to support that, that's one thing. But I think that would be correct to reduce that up. But otherwise, the verdict is in line of what the jury is instructed with.
Thank you for your thoughtfulness in all matters, Your Honor.
And I will tell you that I'm not going to ask the jury any questions about their deliberations. And if they were to say anything about how they got to the economic damages, I'm just going to cut them off. And I'm not even going to tell them that. If they ask, I'll tell them. I'm not going to deceive them or keep anything from them. But I'm not otherwise going to bring this up.
Given the defense not willing to have an off-the-record conversation with no appealable issues, I don't want to have a conversation with them in the courtroom with both sides here. I'd prefer to just invite them. If they want to talk to my client out in the hallway afterward, that's fine. But
well, it's up. I will tell the jurors that under the rules of professional conduct, the lawyers can't approach them, but they can approach the lawyers if they want to, and I'll let them know they can do whatever they want. It's just they can't be bothered by the lawyers if they don't want to. Okay.
understood.
Thank you.
All right.
That's the rule.
All right. All right. Anything else for the record?
Nope. Not today, Your Honor.
Great.
All right.
Great trial.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right. Hug for your lawyer. Good, John. All right, Mr. Gleason, you need a motion.
All right, so there we go. Obviously, that was the end of that. Looking at the verdict here for this case of Jake Gleason against Dr. Edelson. And by all accounts, Jake Gleason has won that lawsuit, so there is some more deliberation. It sounded like on some of the financial compensation, but that's what we have just found out. Just watch that with you. We'll have more details on this, of course, coming up later on today, and we'll have all of the details of what just happened up at kptv.com here shortly. But we wanted to bring this to you live as we received it just the same. So there we go. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.